Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution, and also in part by Xyway brand fungicide, where you get an unfair advantage. Always read and follow label directions. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dale Menyo. As we look to some of the latest, many poultry farmers in western Ohio are facing hardships and financial strain caused by a recent outbreak of highly pathogenic avian influenza, or often referred to as HPAI, and commonly known also as bird flu. In an effort to lessen the burdens caused by these conditions, Ohio Treasurer's Office will be offering an enhanced AgLink application window for commercial poultry farmers in counties affected by the outbreak. The recent outbreak in avian influenza has placed an enormous strain on poultry farming community, said Treasurer Sprague. In an effort to help offset these challenges, our office will be offering an enhanced AgLink window to poultry farmers in those counties with confirmed cases of HPAI. Through AgLink, farmers, agribusinesses, and co-ops can receive an interest rate reduction on new or existing operating loans. For nearly 40 years, the program has helped Ohio's agriculture community to finance the upfront costs for feed, seed, fertilizer, fuel, equipment, and other expenses. At the start of March 2025, the Treasurer's Office will open an application window running through at least the end of April 2025 with enhanced AgLink loan conditions for poultry farmers in those counties affected by the avian influenza outbreak. The Ohio Department of Agriculture recognizes the significant impact to the agriculture communities as Ohio is experiencing the largest bird flu outbreak to date, said ODA Director Brian Baldridge. We encourage farmers to explore any additional resources available to help support them through these challenging times. And the Ohio Poultry Association thanks Treasurer Sprague for recognizing the need created by HPAI and providing this opportunity for financial assistance, says Jim Chikaris, Executive Vice President of the Ohio Poultry Association. Today's weather brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Here's the forecast.
Mild air dominating the landscape here for the start of the week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag weather update. Southwest flow dominating today. It's the warmest day, I think, of the week overall. Maybe we'll get close tomorrow, but I think today is it, just due to the fact we've got better sunshine potential today. Do see some clouds trying to come into the state overnight tonight into tomorrow. Do those trigger precipitation? I don't think so. I guess I'll say keep an eye out for a few spits and sprinkles in central Ohio, but I don't think it's much. We're going into Wednesday then with increasing clouds, and we do have a weather system coming across the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes that will eventually throw some moisture in here. I don't think it happens until close to or after sunset on Wednesday, and then that continues into Thursday. A few hundreds to maybe 4/10 in most parts of the state. Could push close to half an inch early Thursday morning in southern Ohio, but I don't think it's much. Coverage will be about 70% of the state. Behind that, the biggest story of that system is the fact that it draws down cooler air to finish the week, so we're chilly for Thursday afternoon, chilly Friday. Lots of clouds around Thursday afternoon and Friday. We might even see a few sloppy, wet snowflakes, but I don't think that is a big story for the area here. We go into the weekend with cool air not relenting, so we're chilly for the weekend of the 1st and 2nd. Going into the first full week of March, then high pressure over the top of us for Monday. It moves away up the backside. South flow dominates, but that south flow is ahead of a major storm complex that's coming in. I'm looking for rain and thunderstorms for Tuesday, late afternoon, Wednesday, even into early Thursday. Combined over that stretch, I think we can see anywhere from 1/4 to 1.5 inches of liquid, of rain. Coverage 100% of Ohio. Behind it, you guessed it, we're going back to the chilly stuff for next Thursday and for Friday. And the chill wants to stay into the start of the next week before our next round of warm air. That's the way your forecast is stacking up. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Let's check in with Joel Penorwood with his update from Ohio Corn and Wheat.
Joining us today, Gary Puckett, Director of Communications and Industry Engagement with the Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers Association. Gary, we're talking today about becoming a member of the Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers.
People are going to get a lot out of it, and we know that $195 for a 3-year membership is a pretty good steal of the deal, to be honest with you, because what you're going to get out of that is so valuable to growers in Ohio. We are wanting to make sure that you are being connected with the information as it happens on demand, but also a lot of other perks that are important for folks, from being a part of the yield contests to our communications, which has really been amplified, to even having a chance to grow, network, and meet other growers in Ohio at Ohio Corn and Wheat events. We have two options for you if you'd like to be a member, and we hope that you will join or renew now by going to ohiocornandwheat.org. You can get a 1-year membership for $100, or you could get a 3-year membership for $195. And as I said, we're even going to give you a $200 seed coupon, so you're coming out $5 ahead for becoming a 3-year member of Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers Association.
Hard to ignore how fast things are happening in the legislative world, how often things are changing. Ohio Corn and Wheat often putting out updates immediately as they happen to their members.
So that's why it's really important that someone becomes a member of Ohio Corn and Wheat, so that they can get that amplified access to important information as it happens, real-time information from newsletters to emails. But most importantly, you can go to ohiocornandwheat.org and you'll see information posted in real time. And then I also invite people to stay connected with us through our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. We are intentionally making sure that we're getting the word out and connecting with people so that they can stay informed and help spread the word to other growers across Ohio and the nation, for that matter.
More information on how to become a member online at ohiocornandwheat.org. That's Gary Puckett joining us on the Ohio AgNet. I'm Joel Norwood.
And thanks, Joel. The cattle and calves on feed for the slaughter market in the United States for feedlots with capacity of 1,000 head or more on Friday totaled 11.7 million head. The actual data was collected on February 1st, but the inventory was 1% below February 1 of 2024. USDA's NAS office reported Friday afternoon. Placements in feedlots during January totaled 1.82 million head, 2% above 2024. Net placements were 1.76 million head. Marketing of fed cattle during January totaled 1.87 million head, 1% above a year ago. Now, DTN's analysis says, believe it or not, Friday's February cattle on feed report could be viewed as neutral to somewhat bullish, given that Friday's data came in lower than pre-report estimates, saying DTN livestock analyst Shaylee Stewart. Unfortunately, it seems that all too often, traders simply look at how the actual USDA data compared to that of the pre-report estimates and determine whether they deem the material to be bullish, bearish, or somewhere in between, as opposed to diving deeper into the context and seeing if the data aligns with what's unfolding out in the country. It rarely happens that the cattle on feed reports lean to the side of bullishness, but there's a fair argument to be had that Friday's report could indeed be found as neutral to somewhat bullish, as both on-feed totals and placements were lighter than expected. One may argue that the placement data still looks bearish, as it's greater than a year ago, up 2% from January of 24, with placements in January totaling 1.822 million head. But we cannot forget to mention that last year's placements in January were down 7% because of the brutal cold and snow accumulation across the country. It was interesting to note that individual state differences for the placement data for the major feeding states. Iowa saw steady placements compared to a year ago. Nebraska were up 6%, Oklahoma down 3%, Kansas were up 15%, and Texas was down 14%. And with the ban of Mexican cattle imports still in place during the month of January, it makes even more sense that placements were slightly lower for Texas and Oklahoma this past month. Back with more after this.
Morton Buildings is holding their annual Building Value Day sales event running now through the end of February. Morton Buildings are built stronger, last longer, and look better. So if you're planning for a garage, farm shop, stall barn, a storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, or anything in between, act now and contact one of their 4 Ohio offices by visiting mortonbuildings.com or call 800-447-7436 to take advantage of their current savings on select new buildings. Certain restrictions may apply. This offer is available on select building styles. Contact your local construction center for more details.
This is Dale Minio with the Ohio AgNet. For over 25 years, my truck has been running strong on biodiesel, reliable, high-performance fuel that keeps me on the road promoting agriculture. Every gallon helps power Ohio's economy, protect our environment, and support our hardworking soybean farmers. The best part? It works in any diesel engine. No modifications needed. Take it from me. Choose biodiesel and drive with purpose. Learn how at soyohio.org. And this topic we've been around and around with several times, but here's the update. The U.S. Treasury Department has set a new deadline for companies, including farms, to file their beneficial ownership information, or BOI, with the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. The notice also suggests a rule change to reduce the regulation is in the works. Under the new order, the Treasury Department has set a March 21st, 2025 deadline for companies to file their beneficial ownership information with the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. However, Treasury also said that the department is looking for ways to ease those requirements on businesses. On Wednesday, February 19th, Treasury updated the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network website, stating most companies now have a March 21, 2025 deadline to fill their beneficial ownership information. Under a February 18th decision by the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Texas, the department posted that BOI requirements under the Corporate Transparency Act are back in effect, and FinCEN then extended the filing deadline to March 21st. There's several texts that you can read along with that and come up with some of the reasons they might do it. They may be able to determine if some companies have potential to be more at risk of having foreign ownership, and those may come up with different guidelines. But for right now, get it done by March 21st. We'll keep you updated if things change from there. Today's market analysis is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Want information on marketing your soybeans to LDC? Call them at 574-566-2113. With our analysis, here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished the week mixed on Friday. We were lower on corn and soybeans, a little bit stronger on wheat. Here's what the market was looking at Friday and a little bit of a preview into what we're expecting this week. The financial markets were sharply lower last Friday. Look at the Dow finishing 782 points lower. S&P Mini was down 107. NASDAQ futures were down 462. Crude oil was down at $2.08 a barrel. Gas and diesel were down. Nobody complains about that. But it offered some headwinds into the rest of the marketplace because there is now a growing fear of U.S. recession. Now, the corn acre estimates were out on Friday as well. These were pretty doggone interesting. The expectation is that there's going to be a whole heck of a lot more corn acres and not as much bean acres. Here's what the actual estimates are. These will tweak the market here, I think, as we move through this week. On corn, the estimate is for 93.5 million acres. Put that in comparison, last year we were at 90.6. Soybean planted area expected to be 84.4. Last year it was 87.1. These are numbers that are going to be coming out of the Outlook Board Conference that is going to be held the 27th and 28th, so Thursday and Friday of this week. That's the big thing that is in the marketplace. Inflationary concerns due to tariffs have been grabbing headlines a lot lately, but it's DOGE and U.S. government jobs and program cuts nearby that are getting headlines here as of late. Cost cutting is in vogue. Business indexes reflect less investment, more staff cutting, cost savings, and all of that. I think that is the big thing in the macro market space, and it could continue to impact the livestock and grain side. Economic recession impacts meat more than grain consumption, but a significant net long commodity position has been built in all commodities due to inflationary expectations. Due to tariffs, that unwinding could be the stage for the markets to work through here over the next couple of weeks. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Today's market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Overnight at the open, March corn down 3/4 at $4.90 December up a half at $4.75 The March soybeans are up 1/4 cent at $10.39 3/4. November new crop up a half at $10.60 1/4. July wheat down 1 1/4 at $6.16. September down 1 1/4 at $6.30 1/2. In livestock, after the cattle on feed report on Friday, we have February cattle up 20 at $197.82. April up 15 cents at $193.95. April feeder cattle up $1.17 at $267.55. Maize up 85 cents at $265.92. April lean hogs down 85 cents at $87.67. May down 50 at $91.95. Thanks for joining us. This is the Ohio AgNet.